I'm not really sure how to start today's video because it starts off with something that isn't very nice to hear, but it is important to how I've gotten to this point. I had started posting regularly again, and a couple of days after my last video, my cousin called me to let me know that our mutual friend had been hit and killed by a drunk driver. So YouTube was the last thing on my mind. I wasn't thinking about posting or keeping up with giving updates about like why I wasn't going to be online. I just went home because that was what I needed to do at the time. I didn't need to spend the time on social media and tell the world what had happened because that wasn't important. But now that I'm coming back and things are going better, I kind of learned some things about myself during the process. Now, as sad as everything was and as devastating as everything was, I feel like it also taught me an important lesson, and it's that you always hear the saying, like, you never know when your time is up, and you always think it'll never happen to me, but the thing is everybody thinks that until it does happen to them, and unfortunately not everybody gets the, I guess, clarity that I had after everything had happened. Not that the car accident was a good thing, but it did teach me a lesson, and I think it's going to be something that sticks with me for the rest of my life. And I realized that I was just wasting so much of my life doing things that were meaningless. And if it can be taken away, you always say, I'll do it next week, or I'll go take this trip next year, or I'll start working out in a month, or I'll start hiking in next year when the weather gets better, or I'll start this hobby here, I'll start doing this, and you just never, like, it. I am diabetic. I could die in my sleep. I could have a seizure and never wake up again. And it's one of those things, like, why would I spend that time thinking so much about these meaningless tasks like social media and what's the next thing I can get? And I guess to kind of get us back to the main point of the video is the last couple of weeks I have narrowed down a morning routine that has started to change my life drastically, a little bit at a time. And the first 2 days of actually cutting out the most important thing, which I'll get into later, actually resulted in me feeling childlike happiness, something I haven't felt in years. And I hate the whole idea of like this morning routine that's like what you see all the influencers doing, where they're going on like a 6-mile run at 4 a.m. and eating only organic, whole grain, blah 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 foods, and they're just doing these millions of things in the morning, and that's not what I'm going to be getting into. I titled the video something along the lines of "Your morning routine's killing you." Maybe, I don't know, I gotta change that. I don't know at this point, but regardless of what I titled the video, what I'm going to be talking about today is not going to be something that is this huge, drastic thing that is going to take so much effort and you're going to need a lot of money to put towards it and all. I'm not doing that. This is simply things I started doing recently to make me enjoy my days more, because I realized I was going weeks at a time in this like fog and this blur. And I did cut back on social media. I quit scrolling as often, but it's something that your mind always kind of wanders back to. It's always in the back of your mind, and a lot of people take their phones to the bathroom. A lot of people, on long commutes are scrolling, and it's just, I realized that I was, something about my phone and my TV and my computer, it was all turning things into this big technology mush, but then there was no sustenance from the day. So what I started doing, and what I'm going to recommend everybody do, regardless of your job situation, of how much time you have, anything, is just start out simply with turning off your phone. If you can't turn it off, just don't get on your phone in the mornings. It's something so small. Obviously, you hear it a million times. You hear people say all the time, don't get on your phone first thing in the morning. Don't get on your phone. Don't start scrolling. Don't do this, that, and the other. Well, I have a compromise for you. So for me, when I was starting to get to that point where I was slowly getting away and I kind of had that like withdrawal almost, where like I didn't know what to do with myself. I started out with not looking at social media that was changing constantly. So like the only thing I could look at in the morning is maybe Pinterest. Sometimes I go check Facebook to see like what my family was up to, not getting on whatever they call their little videos, maybe it's reels, I'm not sure, but staying away from all that fast-paced social media. And I would just browse like maybe something creative, something I wanted to do for the day. And slowly but surely I've gotten mostly away from social media. Sometimes I have like a moment where I just want to look at stuff. That's all I want to do in the morning. My brain's not functioning. But what I have started to do now that I've moved more away from it is I started reading. And recently I've had another epiphany, which is that I would like to learn more because I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid, and I struggle to say things because my brain moves faster than my mouth can. ADHD, thank you so much for that blessing. But I've started reading both in the morning and at night. So in the morning when I wake up, instead of going to my phone, now that I've kind of gone through the withdrawals, which is just, I can't believe that I'm saying that, but once going through all of the motions to get away from social media, I started reading in the morning, and I've read at least 4 books now. Keep in mind, I read primarily manga, and occasionally I'll sprinkle in some kind of old poetry, philosophical, maybe political / religious thing in there. The book I'm reading I'll put on screen right now. And the interesting thing that it was doing with like reading was I never really had the attention span to read, and with ADHD I would read like an entire page and not remember any of it, so I had to go back and reread and reread and reread. And my dad told me to start the habit of reading even if you're not absorbing what you're reading, because over time, once you've built that habit, you'll be able to focus better. I think personally, back when I was a kid, I could read a lot better, even with ADHD. I think it was the fast-paced media that has been messing me up. Constantly being able to change, I want everything to go faster. Like crochet, I crochet all the time. But I've started to develop this habit where I'm crocheting faster, and it's becoming a hobby that's not relaxing anymore. It's not something that I can sit back and watch a TV show. It's like, I need to get done, I need to get done. And I think it comes from that short-term gratification. What is that? I'm not really sure, I can't remember, but it's just that instant gratification that I was craving. And so after starting to read, I know that was a lot, but after starting to read, it started to slowly give me my attention span back, and I was able to start comprehending what I was reading, because the books that I've been reading are kind of tough to just like jump into. Besides, like, obviously, like manga, it's really easy. You can read a thick book in like 2 hours if you're really motivated to. But like the actual challenging reading slowly started to make sense once I started building that form of that habit, just 5-10 minutes a day of just reading before I started anything else. And slowly I can kind of feel my attention span coming back, where I'm able to focus on what people are saying to me without interrupting as much. I'm able to really think and be more introspective and dwell on things, not in a negative way, but just kind of think more, which is so ridiculous to say. Like, I feel like a majority of people are losing their ability to think critically or think about something for a long time, because we're just on to the next thing, on to the next thing, on to the next. In the last like 2 months, we've seen multiple people be stabbed and shot, and police-related incidences and things to do with war, and I'm not going into detail on purpose because I don't want to deal with the comments later, but we see all these things, and then like 2 days later, it's gone. It's not in our minds anymore. And we should be thinking about these things, but we can't, because our mind is full of all these other things. And I won't be the first to say that social media has made me more creative, but it has also dulled my creativity as well. Anyway, that's enough about the whole reading thing. I had to take that clip out. It kept falling and it was driving me insane. So anyway, that's enough about the whole reading thing. Basically, what I recommend is getting up and reading a book. Now, moving on to the next thing, and this is personal preference, and obviously based on the season, but for me, I also try to go outside as soon as the sun's up. I try to get in direct sunlight. Sometimes even before reading, I'll go make some coffee or some tea. I try not to drink as much coffee first thing because the caffeine gives me the jitters, but I'll try to take my cup outside and my book and sit on my patio in the direct sunlight and not even read for the first 5 minutes. Just sit there and let the sunlight hit my face, and it's warm, and I'm enjoying the last little bit of it because it's about to get so cold. But that is something, I don't really know what the benefit of that is. It just wakes me up, makes me feel better. I don't know the science behind it. I don't really care to know. I simply just enjoy those moments in silence, in the sunshine, just relaxing and enjoying that moment. But moving on from that, this is kind of leading into nighttime routine type of thing, but it kind of correlates to the morning. So what I've started doing, so I went and purchased two, they're not vintage, but vintage styled nightgowns. This one's really pretty. It has like lace. I like the ruffles at the top and the bow. And I have another one. It's very similar to this one. But I started, after taking my shower at night, I will take the time to put on a nightgown and do a very simple nighttime routine that sets me up for the morning. So after my shower, I will obviously skincare, face and body skincare, let my hair air dry as much as possible, throw it up in some heatless curls, put my hair in a bonnet, and wear my nice pretty nightgown and my big socks and my nice fluffy house shoes and get my happy butt in bed and sleep. And guess what? When I wake up in the morning, I get up, I get my coffee or whatever my choice of drink is for the day, my book, go outside, and then when I come back in, I take my bonnet off, I take my heatless curls out, and I spend 5 minutes making myself feel good. So if that means staying in my nightgown all day, but still fixing my hair and maybe a little bit of makeup, because it makes me feel like it's time for me. This is my time. And I try not to turn on like YouTube or any like too like fast-paced or obnoxious type of music. I try to find something very mellow, even if it has lyrics, but just kind of have a little moment to myself in the morning where I'm just enjoying that time to make myself feel good. Because then after that, even though I'm still in my pajamas technically, I feel put together. I'm in a dress, even though it's not a dress, but I'm in a dress, I have my hair done, my makeup's done, and I go about my day, I do the dishes, I get the floors ready, and I haven't even had breakfast yet, and I'm just ready to like get on with the morning. I'm good for the day. And I don't know the science or the psychology behind it, but just those like little bit of things in the morning make my day so much more enjoyable. And there's a couple other things that I choose to do, like I try not to really eat first thing because I am diabetic, so a little bit of fasting in the morning is better for my glucose and insulin sensitivity, but I'll try to have a good breakfast with like chicken, sausage, and eggs and some fruit, and then maybe like one of those little like immunity shots with like ginger and stuff because I have chronic nausea for no reason, don't know why, and those help a lot. But it's a very simple routine of just waking up in silence, letting the sunlight hit my face, reading my book with my coffee, going inside, quickly styling my hair because it's pretty much already done for me, a little bit of makeup, and then I'm good to go. I feel so refreshed. My mind had had time to wake up. If it was doing any critical thinking with the reading, it was very strategic and slow paced and not making me go a million miles an hour, but it just slows me down. And the other day I realized I went until about 5 o'clock at night without really being on my phone. I went the whole day, and I noticed my mannerisms that I had from when I was younger, or I guess like actions, I guess would be a better way to say that. Like I'm a very like explosive personality where I jump around a lot or sing a lot or say random things because my brain just works that way, and I started doing them. And it was the day me and my husband we had spent all day outside just working on whatever. We were cleaning the patio, and it was just such an enjoyable day because I realized I was becoming or able to reach that more childlike aspect of my personality, and it slowly started coming out more and more. So I've started to tap into the more childlike aspects of my personality, but also be able to focus more and learn more, because I just take an hour in the morning. And it can be less time than that. And I know a lot of people don't have the time. There's a lot of single parents. There's people that work 2 jobs. There's people who never really get time to themselves. But if you can squeeze in even 20 minutes of just silence and maybe a little bit of reading, maybe a little bit of music, but nothing that's making your mind immediately jump into the world. Like, you shouldn't have to wake up first thing in the morning, see a video of someone being shot, see a video about some craft you want to do, then go back to something horrific happening to a child, then go back to laughing, then something sad about a cat. Your mind isn't meant to go that back and forth. It can't handle it. For me, it starts making me very overstimulated, very overwhelmed. It's made my anxiety insanely bad. Like, I'm scared to go camping now because I don't know. I have this like huge anxiety that I'm gonna die because I'm diabetic and something happens in the middle of the night and I'm 3 hours from a paved road and no cell service for at least 4 hours. Like, that's a little scary, but after getting away from the busyness of the world, and it's slowly expanding later and later into the day, I feel more whole as a person. I feel like I'm learning who I am more. I feel better. I want to put in effort every day, and it's just making my life experience more enjoyable. And I hope to be one of those people at some point in my life that if I were to pass at any moment, that I would be okay. Obviously, you can get in the nuances, like, oh, you never got to do this thing, but that's not what I'm talking about. Is like, I want to live a life that is so what I want and gives me what I need, that if something happened and it was taken away from me, at least I enjoyed the little bit of time that I got to spend on this planet doing the things that I love, seeing the places I wanted to see, enjoying the hobbies that I wanted to. And I'll tell you something, if you get up early enough and start your day slow enough to just give yourself the mental capacity to take on the day, you'll realize the day is a lot longer than it feels like. My hobbies have like tripled in the last week. I've made so many Halloween decorations, and I'm almost done with the sweater that I started 4 days ago with crocheting. And I've read many books in the last couple of weeks, and it's just like, I don't know how to explain it. I feel more whole, and your phone is killing you. It's killing you. And I'm not saying to not use them, obviously, but what I am saying is use them as tools, occasional entertainment, take breaks, try to see the world, and you'll start to realize that not everything needs to be aesthetic, not everything needs to be perfect, not everything has to be for the eyes of someone else. And I guess that's enough of that ramble. Unfortunately, this mindset had to come from something extremely negative, and I've slowly pushed towards it. If you've watched my previous videos where social media ruined my life and all of these other things that I've talked about, but I really think that sometimes it just takes something happening in your life to push you in that direction. And I cannot wait to see the person I become in like 6 months and then a year if I keep up with this, which I will keep up with this. But anyway, that's enough of me rambling. There's a couple of things that have been going on. I've been decorating the house a little bit more. I do live in an RV, so it isn't that exciting, but if you guys are interested in seeing a RV tour, we also have a new friend coming to live with us next week. We're going to pick him up, and I'm not going to show you anything about him yet, but next week maybe you'll be able to see our new little buddy that's coming to stay with us. And this channel is kind of going to be moving into more cozy content. It's going to start being a lot more about hobbies. It's going to be a lot more about camping. It's going to be still touching on like self-help and introspection, maybe a little bit more in detail now that I'm able to focus longer and actually write and read and learn things. Maybe I'll have more insights to give. But if you're interested in any of those things, please let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know if any of this video spoke to you, and let me know your story if you have gone through the same thing as just me, but that's enough for today. I have been talking for far too long, but thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week.